So you knew this child since she was 2 years old.
Yes.
You were in a stepfather role. She called you daddy?
Yes.
So at what point in your mind did you decide?
We are about to watch the parole hearing of a monster who committed his second offense while out on special parole. Who would have thought that could happen with all these low risk scores and whatnot? We'll jump in and unpack it at the end.
Please state your name and inmate number for the record.
Edison Vidro 379-545.
This hearing is being conducted in consideration of the parole application for Edison Vidro 379-545. He is serving a sentence of 10 years, execution suspended after 5 years jail with 10 years probation for sexual assault or an illegal sexual contact. As of today, records reflect the parole eligibility date of June 1st, 2024 at 50%. There is an offender accountability plan for the offender. It has been reviewed and it shows he has completed the following programs in Tier 2. Utilizing the statewide collaborative offender risk evaluation system, the offender overall score for the SRT falls within the high range of risk for recidivism. Utilizing the static 99R, the offender overall score for sexual offense recidivism falls within the high range also. Mr. Vitro, this is your opportunity to express to the board why you believe you should be granted parole. You may begin.
I believe that if I'm granted parole, I'll be released to the community. I'll do all the programs necessary. I want to apologize to the victim and the family.
Is that it, sir?
That's it.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. So what we're gonna do, we've read you've been through this before.
Yes.
We've read your background, what happened that got you to this incarceration, what you've done since you've been in. Based upon that, we have some questions for you. We do have Mr. De Jesus with us today. We have some public input into this hearing, and then we're going to talk about your case and give you a decision. Okay.
All right.
Okay. So it's my turn to start with questions, and I only have a few. So you were on special parole.
Yes.
For a sex offense.
Yes.
And part of that was that we weren't going to be around minors, no contact with minors without parole officer's permission.
Yes.
But then what happened after that?
I was in a relationship with a female who had a child.
And so you know that special parole is a higher level than just discretionary parole, right?
Yes.
So you understand where we are today, right?
Yes.
I mean, it's pretty much for me, my hands are pretty well tied. You know, it's like to make a decision to give discretionary parole. In this case, it wouldn't be a wise decision. Because of why you were in, you know. And that's, you know, that's the tough part of this case, right?
Okay. Yes.
You know, I hope, you know, I know that you're on the wait list for the short-term SO treatment, and I really hope that you take that programming to see what you can do to you know, to help yourself. You know, while you're inside, you know.
Okay.
I don't know, Board Member Page, do you have any questions here?
I do. Thank you, Sir Chair. Mr. Vidro, I'm curious to know why when you were interviewed by the parole officer in preparation for today's hearing, she asked you, or he asked you, I don't know if it was Officer Menard, but they asked you about your responsibility in this offense, and you told him that the mother of the victim wanted to get back at you.
Yeah, that's what I was told about a friend.
But what makes her want to get back at you? What happened that she would want to get back at you?
We was in a relationship. I was with somebody else. I stopped giving her money. I stopped being around her.
So she tells her daughter to say that you did something to her?
I took full responsibility for the situation that happened.
Well, taking full well, do you admit to touching her inappropriately?
Yes.
Okay. And were you participating in sex offender treatment in the community?
No. I was at special parole. I attended a couple classes, but then the classes, I ended up violating because I was doing drugs at the time. So I had to go to inpatient drug program, and in the program that I was in, they wasn't taking that class.
I see that when you were on special parole, you received 3 parole violations, 4 misconducts, 3 drug admissions. They sent you to top twice and you still came back. Do you think the parole officer was really trying to work with you prior to having you remanded to prison?
Can you repeat that again?
Do you think that your parole officer out in the community, do you think that they were trying to seriously work with you to get you the help that you needed when you were out there? So
Yes.
why weren't you taking advantage of the help?
Because I was being hard-headed and ignorant.
So you think that incurring additional charges and it was going to make things easier for you? Like, I'm trying to understand your way of thinking.
At the time, I wasn't thinking of the situation.
Okay, let's go back just a second. You just said that your ex-girlfriend made this stuff up with her daughter to get back at you. So which one is it? Did you do it or did she make it up?
I did it.
So why would you say that she made it up? Why would you say that?
And I was mad at the time.
Okay, all right. Thank you, Sir Chair.
Thank you, Board Member Turner. Any questions?
Sir, when you were interviewed by Officer Menard, he prepared a report for us. And at the time of the interview, you were still denying that you victimized this child. What's brought about the change in the last month?
I want to be honest with the situation.
That's commendable. I'm glad to hear it. How did you? So you knew this child since she was 2 years old.
Yes.
You were in a stepfather role. She called you daddy?
Yes.
So at what point in your mind did you decide to sexually violate a child that trusted you, looked up to you, that you'd known since she was a toddler? How did that come about?
I don't know. I was under the influence at the time.
Right, but it wasn't a one and done, was it?
It wasn't a what?
One time occurrence.
No.
Mhm. Did you use substances in order to allow yourself to sexually violate this child?
Possibility.
No, I'm just saying.
Well, sir, you got a long road ahead of you and a lot of work to do. Because now you're serving for a second sexual offense and you have lifetime on the registry and you get to complete treatment. And there's a tie into pornography and you're offending, right?
Yes.
I have no more questions, Mr. Chair.
So thank you, Board Member Turner. Mr. Jesus, you have input, from the public in this case?
For the record, I do not have a statement from the general public. I have a statement from the victim's mother, and it reads as follows. To whom it may concern, I am the mother of the victim. My daughter fell victim to Edison Vidro at the tender age of 9. She has yet to recover from the horrific events which occurred to her. She is still receiving psychiatric help 3 times a week due to having flashbacks. At times, life for her is a challenge, as every day she is on medication for her PTSD. My daughter was a normal, loving, caring child before this incident. She lives every day in fear something is going to happen to her.
And that's the reality.
I don't think Mr. Vidro has taken his sentencing very seriously. This all seems to be a funny joke to him. Upon sentencing, he brought an audience with him in which we had to leave the court due to the obscenities his friends and family that accompanied him were screaming. I fear for my child's safety to the point that I moved out of town. There have been several times that I have been seen by his cousin Rosie in a gas station, and she has begun to scream obscenities at my daughter and myself. I called the police, and she left before they reached the scene. Also, I don't feel it is safe for the public to have him released. He has been seen around children and with women and children when he should not be allowed around children. If he is released, how many more victims are out there, or how many more lives need to be affected by him and his disregard for other people? Mr. Vidro also refused to have a trial and pled guilty to his crime. So why should his sentence be cut short? My daughter, no matter how much time he does, will have this scar forever. She gets no chance to start over. He is a danger to the public and does not need to be released. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. De Jesus. We're just gonna, Mr. Vidro, if you'll give us just a minute, we're gonna have a brief recess. Okay?
Thank you, Mr. Jesus. So do you want to step out?
Nope.
We're now back on the record.
Okay. Thank you for your patience, Mr. Vidro. So as I stated in my remarks, where for me, there's really no decision to make here. Mr. Vidro was on not only on special parole for a sexual offense, but he went out and committed another one while on special parole, and understanding that he was struggling with addiction. I get that, but at the same time, another sexual offense. It just wouldn't be it wouldn't be the right decision in the interest of really anyone,
Right.
for us to release Mr. Vidro. And I'm highly concerned that that this took place while in SMU on special parole. So the position that I have on this case is that I would deny parole and I would release him at the end of his special parole sentence.
So Chair, I don't think we ever discussed the special parole end date. I know that we talked about it.
September 26, 27 is what
And that reflects the 8 years of special parole that he was sentenced to in 2014.
From the sex assault one. I'm in the same position. His criminal history is concerning. He hasn't taken the appropriate programming, and I just don't think that he's an appropriate candidate for discretionary parole. So, and he does have the 3 years, as you stated, Sir Chair. I think that that's appropriate.
I'm in agreement, and we didn't even touch on the DRs. So his discipline in the facility is concerning, as well as his behavior identity. And
So in regard to Edison Vidro 379545, I move to deny parole based upon the nature and circumstance of the current offense, his criminal history, and the current offense committed while he was on special parole.
Jim, could we please add injury and impact to the victim?
And injury and impact to the victim. And to release Mr. Vidro at the end of his special parole sentence of September 26th, 27. Is there a second?
Second.
Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and parole is denied, and Mr. Vidro's release date has been set.
Amen.
Sir, I hope you can make use of the time that you have there.
This concludes the hearing for Edison Vidro 379545. Ms. Vidro, you will receive all this in writing, okay? Good luck to you.
I feel like a broken record, but who are you supposed to be upset at, right? Of course, we are upset at the monster, but let's remember that it's the system that is locking him up with these little slap on the wrist sentences and then letting him out to offend again and then giving him a little slap on the wrist sentence again. He was convicted in 2014 of the first crime doing this to a victim under the age of 13. He gets released after serving just 5 years in 2019. And then he's caught again and convicted in 2023 for doing it again to a 9-year-old. And what do they do when they catch him? They give him just another 5-year sentence. His max, he's getting out November 30th, 2026. His special parole ends September 2027, then he's scot-free. Make it make sense. How is that possible? First, you do it to a child under the age, that's what it says, under the age of 13, and you only get 5 years, and then you do it again. And you only get another 5 years. What are the DAs thinking? What are the judges thinking? We're talking about actual sexual assault of a child. At least the board had even poll. Was like, I got something I can even do. And at least we had Page and Turner come in with a little bit of smacking around that he deserves. I don't know what in the world they were talking about at the executive session. Probably poll trying to say, well, he should have some supervision or something. That's crazy. Who knows? Unbelievable. This isn't his only stuff. He's got a long record. Thank you, Richard, for sharing the information. He's got a long record. He's got one here in 2011. A man who terrorized ex-girlfriend nabbed in the act. Let's see if we can share this screen with you. Just talk about a bad, evil man that the system is releasing into the streets. How is this protecting your constituency? How is it possible that he is going to be out again in just a couple of years? How is that possible? After a lengthy manhunt, East Haven police caught up with the man who had been terrorizing Central Street woman. According to Deputy John Ederson, who was arrested on March 3rd while driving his ex-girlfriend's home. He'd reportedly been threatening the woman for weeks, including leaving messages late last month that there was a bomb in her house. Officers responded to the family violent complaints, and the victim February 20th, 23rd, 28th, March 3rd. In each case, he had called or texted his ex-girlfriend, leaving threatening messages. The bomb scare happened February 23rd. East Haven Police Department filed an arrest warrant. On the day of the arrest, local cops spent several exhaustive hours searching the town as well as several surrounding communities. The officers were monitoring his whereabouts. He's just a cost on society. He's just a drag on society. He's a menace to society. Why would a judge with this guy with a history of felonies 2 times, the second time harming a little baby, only give a 5-year sentence? It makes no sense. I'm so sick and tired of it. How is it possible? How is that possible? How is it possible? Come on. Anyone with two pennies to rub, 2 brain cells, to rub together would know that this is insanity. Where's the habitual offender thing? Where is it that he should just get a huge, massive sentence to keep society safe? He was out on special parole. He couldn't even date a woman with a child. Not only did he do that, but then he sexually assaulted her. The one in 2013, it says they arrested a 23-year-old man who wanted for alleged sexual assault trial related to him. I don't know if this is the one when he was the stepfather, but they say related to him in this article I'm reading. I can't share it because it lists an address. Then he has a couple of lawsuits which are shared where he sues the DOC because, what else would you expect? It's crazy. His conviction date for this offense is March 30th, 2023, his most recent one. It's like a year and 3 months ago. Now, he got time served. That's why. You can't make it up. You just can't. What a monster. And the system does nothing to protect us. Nothing. The victim's mother has to come up and talk alone. No DA, who cares? But this stuff pisses me off, and this is why we do this. This is why we do this, because we need to show that the system is wrecked. And with that, I'll let you go.
Sentence for a violation of probation with underlying risk of injury to a child. As of today, records reflect a parole eligibility date of 7/10/2024 at 50%. There's no victim input in this case. There's an offender accountability plan for the offender. It has been reviewed and shows the offender has completed voices to date. He's not completed it. He's currently participating in voices. He has not completed it. Utilizing the statewide collaborative offender risk evaluation system, the offender overall score for the SRC falls within the high range of risk for recidivism. Utilizing the static 99R, the offender overall score for sexual offense recidivism fall within the low range. Mr. Silva, this is your opportunity to express to the board why you should be granted parole. You begin.
Well, I've had some time to think about why I'm here, and I come to the conclusion that it was my best thinking that got me here in the moment, and my thinking was flawed. I don't want to make any excuses for what I was going through or what I wasn't. I just made bad decisions. I didn't really care about what was happening to me in my life. I had just gotten a divorce, and I had other things going on in my life that they had me at a low point. And I stopped caring about myself. And after going through this, I've begun to think differently. I have a mother and father that are elderly, that currently my sister is taking care of both of them and assisting with my 3 children and my grandchild that I still haven't seen, which is very unfair to her. I need to be out there to take care of mine and help her take care of our parents.
Okay, is that it, Mr. Silva? Okay, so, what we've done is we've read about your background and what's got you here. We've read about what you've done since you've been in. Based upon that, we have some questions for you to arrive at your suitability for parole. We're gonna take turns asking those questions, and we're gonna discuss your case, and we're gonna give you a decision, okay?
Yes.
We're gonna start questions today with, Board Member Page.
Thank you, Sir Chair. So Mr. Silva, I appreciate your desire to return home to help your aging parents. You know, and I can only imagine that it's a lot on your sister. But when you return back to the community, you want to live with her. You don't think that that's going to be an additional strain? Your sister.
My father also lives in that household. And between the two of them, my assistance is only needed in the caretaking process. They don't need any financial assistance from them. So me being there would actually be a benefit.
I'm just curious to know, you know, you have a prior sex offender, sexual assault, should I say, where, well, it's not a sexual assault, and I apologize for the language, where you were trying to get sexual favors from a minor. And now you're in the same situation with someone who's slightly older. And this time there's actual physical kind of contact. But your explanation for the behavior is that it's not true.
Correct. I never had any contact with either of those physically.
You never kissed her on the cheek?
Yes, yes.
That's physical contact.
It wasn't sexual.
Well, I didn't ask you if it was sexual. I just said.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Nonetheless, but you know, I mean, even in your description to the authorities, you said that the 17-year-old girl was the aggressor.
I don't recall that.
It said that you liked the attention that she gave you and that she's the one that basically pursued you.
She definitely wasn't pursuing me. We had a relationship based on our mutual love of K-pop, K-dramas, and computers. I don't think that she was ever of a mind to be looking for a relationship with me.
So why were you telling her that you loved her?
I tell her and her brothers and sisters that every time I see them, because I do. I've known them since birth.
So, sir, is your position still, even though they've proven you that you were sending things that were inappropriate in your communication with this girl, and you weren't supposed to be having contact? Well, she's not a minor, or she was 17, but you even went to lengths to delete your conversations with this person, and you made statements like you wanted to unzip her the onesie of a llama, and that's not sexual.
In my mind at the time, it was not meant to be sexual.
So why would you want to unzip a 17-year-old's anything outfit?
Because black and white, it looks horrible, but she has, defenses, if you would say. Like she wears headphones to block things out. She does things. It wasn't.
Why would you? You talked about you most in your opening statement mostly. So why would you want the 17-year-old's mama outfit unzipped so that you can get closer to her?
Not at all.
So why?
I don't have any answer for that that won't be mistaken or misconstrued. I said something stupid. I shouldn't have said it.
And so the I love yous that you exchanged was for her and all of her siblings. Is that what you said?
Yes, and
And so why didn't the other kids come forward and say that you were texting them, that you loved them and were asking them for closer hugs and kisses and all that stuff? Why wouldn't they come forward?
I don't have an answer for that. When I saw them upon my leaving, I would tell them, whichever child was there, you know.
So why wouldn't
I'm out, I love you.
if the mother put this child up to doing this, why wouldn't she put all of them up to doing it?
I never said she put her up to that.
You told the parole officer that that says the victim's mother reported this out of revenge. You didn't say that either?
I did say that.
Okay, so if she reported it, why wouldn't she say all of her kids said that instead of just this one person if she wanted to really get you in trouble?
Because I don't think
Go ahead.
because I don't think it was about that. The revenge part had nothing to do with that.
What did it have to do with them?
I told the child in question that her brother was adopted after she asked me specifically. She told me that her grandmother said her brother was adopted. I was like, yeah. I did not know that was a family secret that shouldn't have been shared. I was just answering the question, and the mother got very upset about that. And I messed up. I didn't know that it wasn't common knowledge. And that
So
was
did you ever have a sexual relationship with the mother of this victim?
No.
Okay, maybe I'm mixing up the cases. Were you friends with the risk of injury back in 2017? Were you allowed? It doesn't even matter. I'm just curious to know what you accept responsibility for, Mr. Silva. What exactly do you say that you did that landed you in prison?
I shouldn't have been in the house because there were minor children there. I was there multiple times, willfully. Shouldn't have been there.
So you don't admit to messaging the child at all?
We had contact all the time, yes.
And nothing about those conversations were inappropriate? Nothing?
No, I never had any. No.
So basically you're not admitting to anything? You're innocent, wrongfully convicted?
You are distorting my words, and I don't have answers that are going to be adequate for what you want to hear. When I text her, we texted in Japanese because she was trying to learn Japanese. But we never said anything of a sexual nature or anything like that. Our interests were music, teaching her how to drive, and the K-dramas that we both watched. And occasionally she would tell me about things that were happening in her life with her parents.
But why would you delete your interactions? If it was so innocent as what you're saying, why would you go to the length of deleting your messages?
Because I delete all of my messages.
So I don't think the police believe that either. It's just, I mean, honestly, I just hoped that, that you're, after having this experience, that you would have been a little more forthcoming with the role that you played in all of this. Okay, yes, you weren't supposed to be there, but there was something about what you did interacting with this 17-year-old that made her feel uncomfortable in some sort of way. I don't believe that the mother was scorned and came after you. It's sad. So when you were out in the community before, were you taking the problem sexual behavior treatment?
Yes, I was.
And how far along in the program did you get?
I got to phase 2.
And they didn't tell you that you weren't supposed to be around minor children?
They did, and that is the part that I tell you, I wasn't supposed to be in the house when the minor children were there.
And when did you do a lie detector test?
I did an eye detect test,
And did
and
you
I was,
go ahead. Go
and
ahead.
I was scheduled to have another one, but I never had a lie detector.
So the eye detector is one of the same things where they ask you questions, and based on the movement of your eyes, they can detect whether or not you're telling the truth. So it's just all of it together is so concerning that you were. I just wish that things were a little different, Mr. Silva. I do appreciate your speaking with me, and Sir Chair, I'm done with my questions.
Thank you, Board Member Turner.
So picking up where my colleague left off, Mr. Silva, so the parents were concerned enough that you as a 49-year-old man were having contact with a 17-year-old that they asked you to stop communicating with her. Why wouldn't you respect their wishes? Their role as a parent is to protect their child.
I did, and when they asked me to stop talking to her, I did. The father continued to speak to me about regular things, but I had no contact with her at all after he said to stop.
So is it your position that using code words to tell the 17-year-old you loved her was you practicing Japanese with her?
That wasn't my decision, that was hers. I just went along with it.
What, code words to hide?
Yes,
Okay.
yes,
Do you see how none of this is plausible to us?
yes.
That you know, every aspect of it looks like you were a predator and you were grooming this child and 17-year-old, and you had every intent to move on with the relationship. You explained to the parole officer it was a teachable moment.
That
I
was
don't think what I did was criminal. What was the teachable moment?
that was not the child for the violation. That was the first person.
Okay. What about that was teachable?
Because they are judging intent of which there was none. She came to me with a situation and I just spoke to her plainly. I told her, you could do this, you could do this, you could do this for these sums of money. And I asked her directly after that, don't you feel that you're worth more than that? This was my daughter's sister.
This is you telling us that she offered to sell you her virginity for $2,000
Correct,
and she was 14.
correct.
Okay, and that list of the 5 things that you wanted to her to do so you could pay her $100 for each. That's what was the nature of that note?
Again, I asked her after that, don't you think that you're worth more than that? It wasn't, I had no intent. This was my daughter's sister. She came to me in an adult manner. I responded in an adult manner.
She was 14, sir. It was inappropriate for you to respond to her in an adult manner.
Correct.
So your plan is to go out and collect disability and help your sister take care of your parents?
My plan is to help my sister take care of my parents. And when my when they're at a point where we know that they're going to be okay, because my mother needs a little more help, I plan to find a job that will allow me to earn within the income guidelines of disability.
And the basis of your disability is what?
I've got a bad heart. I was at one time morbidly obese at over 400 pounds. I couldn't do much. I was on the verge of death. They granted me disability. Slowly over the years, I've been getting better. I can do more than I can then.
You have the 10 years on the sex offender registry, that's for the underlying
Correct.
risk of injury. When does that expire?
I guess that would be 2029, I believe.
And you know you have a standing criminal protective order against you till the year 2099?
I do now. I did not know.
You do. So take that very seriously.
Okay.
No more questions for Mr. Silva.
Thank you, Board Member Turner. Board Member Page.
Thank you, Sir Chair. It sounds as if Mr. Silva has some support in the community. It sounds as if he has a plan to go out and collect his disability. He rates out at 51 high in terms of his risk to recidivate. He has not completed any of the programs on his offender accountability plan. He was actually in treatment when he committed this current offense. And given the nature of the underlying offense, I do not believe that Mr. Silva is an appropriate candidate for discretionary parole today. I have his request denied for inadequate evidence of offender change and program participation, and also his criminal history. I do not have him returning for the hearing.
Board Member Turner.
I agree and would add poor performance on community release. He didn't come back with big charges. He just kept violating his probation.
So we have criminal history, community for performance on community release, and
Inadequate program participation in evidence.
evidence offender change.
That's it.
And that's it. Okay, regarding Shane Silva, 201759, move to deny parole for the following reasons: criminal history, poor performance while on community release, and inadequate institutional program participation, and evidence offender change. Is there? Okay.
Second.
Those in favor will signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. Mr. Silva, we weren't able to give you parole today, and we do wish you well. Hope you have the time and the ability to take programming while you're there.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
This concludes the hearing for Shane Silva, 201-759. Mr. Silva, you will receive all this in writing, okay? Good luck to you.
Have a great day.
Well, hey, it was nice to see the Connecticut Parole Board smash, him a new one too. What a classic liar. Like he really thinks that everyone's so dumb. Oh yeah, he wasn't doing anything wrong. He was just helping her study Japanese. It's like, how dumb are you? Oh, she was coming on to me, I mean, what 17-year-old girl doesn't come on to a 350-pound man, or so claims he was. It's just insane. It's insane. And if you didn't see it, you might not believe it. I mean, here it is, just what a little information Richard could find. A Tyrrellville man convicted of sending an underage Bristol teenage a list of sexual favors she could complete in exchange for cash has been charged in violating probation once again. Shane Silva, 49, has entered a plea to the newest violation charge. And I don't have much else, really anything on this. I mean, he has a bunch of other charges that are not related to this initial crime, but it does seem that, and he did lose some weight. It does seem on his registry, it lists him at 300 pounds, but I'm trying to figure out, like, I was a little bit confused. His initial charge in 2019 was risk of injury to a child. Was it the same child? Was it the same type of like? It's to me, it's not clear. It was. It could be because I'm multitasking. I'm about to head to a trip, and I'm just not. But or the board didn't do an excellent job interviewing it. They themselves were made a little confusing. But I know that he it seems that he was given. So he was arrested on 9/8/2017, risk of injury to a child. And he was found guilty on 4/16/2019, sentenced to 10 years jail, but executed suspended and probation 5 years. So it seems that he got no jail time for that. He was a golden ticket. Then he violated his probation on November 23rd, 2020. So he got his 10 years. They still gave him executed suspended after 15 months for some reason, and probation for 54 months. And then it shows that he got a violation on that probation. So his probation was revoked March 7, 2023. And he was sentenced to 58 months in jail. And I guess that's what the article means again. I don't know. Again, it seems obviously here that he got the sentence, probation, just given probation, violated, and then got a small sentence, basically had to serve 15 months, and then violated again. And now he was able to get somehow parole a year later, but he was denied, although he has a good time date. But it's like you listen to this guy, and wow, what a clown. Yeah, I was just teaching her Japanese. Oh, I delete all my messages. Oh, I did nothing. I just kissed her on the cheek. Oh, we had things in common. Oh, yeah, oh, shut up. But again, it's the system that keeps letting him out over and over and over. And also, he's like, it was my sister's daughter? That's what he said, right? I mean, it's your niece. You can't make this stuff up. You can't make it up. I have nothing else to add. I have to run too, otherwise I could probably go on for another 30 minutes screaming, as I sometimes do. But thank you, Richard, for the info. And hey, man, this is still, it's just incredible that they give these. We've seen two back to back these little ridiculous sentencing, and it's criminals will be criminals, but it's the system that is clearly at fault here. The DAs, the judges, the legislation, all of it. It's messed up. It's broken. And with that, I'll let you go.
I'm off the chair. You see anything there?
Sorry.
I'll be right with you, sir.
No problem.
Good morning. My name is Parole Officer Ramos. Today is Wednesday, February 28th. No, January 24th, 2024. I'm sorry. I'm ahead of month.
Hey, you're fine.
And this is the hearing of the Connecticut Board of Pardons and Paroles. The following board members are present this morning and by stating their names on the record certify they have reviewed all statutorily required documents and available pertinent information in preparation for this hearing.
Good morning, Good morning, I'm Philip Page.
Well, good morning, Councilmember Rodriguez.
Good morning.
Sir, can you please state your name and inmate number for the record?
Bar Edmonds, 302-323.
This hearing is being conducted in consideration of the parole application for LeVar Edmonds, 302-323. He is serving a sentence of 10 years, executed suspended after 2 years, 6 months, with 10 years probation to follow for risk of injury and sexual assault second. As of today, records reflect a parole eligibility date of October 18th, 2023 at 50%. There is no victim input in this case, right? Yes, no, there's not. The OAP was reviewed and shows the offender completed no programs as of the date of the interview.
However, he is on the wait list for jobs, the short track PSB and voices. Utilizing the state collaborative offender risk evaluation system, the offender's overall score of the SRT falls within the high range of risk for recidivism. And utilizing the static 99, the offender's overall score for sexual offense recidivism falls within the low range. Mr. LeVar, this is your opportunity to express to the board why you believe you should be granted parole. You may begin.
Okay, I feel like I should be granted parole because I really don't remember what they saying I did. I don't remember anything because of my TBI, a traumatic brain injury. I don't remember anything. And since I've been here, when I first got here, I asked them, was there any programs that I had to take that'll prevent me from leaving or making parole or whatever? And they just now told me about a class. So I only been to classes. I only took one class though.
You know what? Well, thank you for your opening comments. Mr. Evans. And we will all take turns to ask you questions and, answer to the best of your ability.
Okay, but remember, I do have a traumatic brain injury.
We understand that. So
Okay.
if you're asked a question and you can't answer it, just,
Okay.
say so. So thank you for your opening comments. You said you should be granted parole. You really don't remember anything that you were convicted of. You were asking about programs that you were to take, and they just told you, and you say you're currently in a program?
Yes. Well, yes, I am.
What's the name of the program?
I forget the name of it. Sorry about that, but I forgot the name. I know I go every Thursday, but I only went one time. I went last Thursday, and I'm gonna start. I'm going this Thursday too, but I don't remember the name of it. Sorry about that.
Okay, so, I understand that you want to go to a halfway house.
Yes, anything to get out of here because I need to start living my life. Well,
We understand that.
I need to get
So
back.
you want to go to a halfway house in Waterbury or New Haven. And you said you want to get back in the ABI waiver program.
Yes, I do.
And that Miss Spinata will assist you with that.
Yes.
And that you're gonna get back on exercise and
Yes.
you're going to participate in programs.
Oh, hopefully.
Is there anything else that you can remember that you want to share with us?
I don't remember. I'm sorry.
You don't remember anything. Okay.
I'm so sorry.
Okay.
Pardon me, Madam Chair, for the record, he is currently participating in the problem sexual behavior.
Okay, that's what he did.
Yeah, and the estimated completion date for that program will be June of 2020.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
June,
2nd of 2024.
is that individual or group?
It doesn't say that.
So you said that you attended one class so far.
Yes.
Do you remember anything? Was it with a group of people or was it individual?
It was a group of people.
Okay. How do you think you did?
How many classes I did?
No. How do you think you did in that one?
I don't know. I mean, I really don't remember. I don't remember anything about the group. I just remember it was a lot of people around me. We was in a table, but like I don't remember but what was said, I don't remember what, you know what I'm saying? I don't remember anything.
Did you understand why you were in that particular group?
Yeah, because of my charges.
You're remembering some things, at least you know that if you were in that group as a result of what you were convicted of,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Okay. And do you think, can you recollect, if any at all, how did you feel? Were you comfortable? What about, the other folks in the group?
I mean, I didn't, you asked me if I felt comfortable with everybody in the group. I mean, I guess.
So there's really, nothing else that you think you can share with us today?
Excuse me?
You don't think there's anything else that you can remember that you could share with us today?
I'm willing to do whatever it is to be free. But I have a problem remembering.
We understand that, Mr. Evans. We're just still trying to make sure, you kind of understand what our interaction with you is about.
Okay.
Okay. So, at this time, I'm going to see if my other two colleagues have any other observation or comments or questions that they can share with you. Okay?
Okay.
All right.
Thank you, Madam
Mr.
Chair.
Rodriguez.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Mr. Edmund, is it Edmund? Mr.
Edmonds.
Edmonds. Yeah, it makes it a little difficult because you're not remembering anything for us to really, really kind of figure out how we make a decision that you're suitable to be able to be released, right? Because you have these charges, they're kind of serious, right? And we need to figure out what makes the most sense for you to be able to be successful when you're released so you don't find yourself here again. So it makes it kind of difficult for us. Just in general, just think about who you are. What's going to help make you successful coming out if you're released?
Just give me a lot of programs that help me.
Okay. But if you take you just say you're taking a program now and you can't remember what the group talked about. If you take a program on the outside, well, how are you going to remember what you've learned? We're trying to figure out how you're going to learn to be able to develop the skills that you need to be able to be successful on the outside. So if we give you programs, if you take programs on the outside, you're taking a program now and you can't remember what happened, right?
Consistency.
So if you do something over and over again,
Yes.
you tend to remember it.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
And so since you've only started this program now, there isn't that consistency built up for you.
Yeah.
Well, it's hard to kind of go over for me what in fact you've done at this point, because if I ask you, what happened, we're on community release before, what happened that those releases didn't work, are you going to remember that? Why they didn't work?
Say that again.
When you were on community release before, you've had some community release before where you were let out, probation. What happened that they didn't work? Do you remember that?
I mean, it did work. I just stayed away from everybody, I just stayed to myself. And Jennifer Smyrnola, my worker, she helped me out a lot. Well,
So
I just
you remember her, and the work with her?
yeah,
What did she do? What did she do for you that helped you out? What were the kinds of things that she did that helped you out?
like she came in, she came in and picked me up in the morning and took me out like took me to the Y. I went to the Y a lot to work out. Like she took me like she washed my clothes. She helped me with everything.
So she helped you basically with basic kinds of needs that you had.
Yes.
But not in kind of how to make decisions and navigate the world, navigate the community. Not that, just in your basic needs.
Yeah, but I mean,
I see you're struggling with this. Okay, listen, I don't have any more questions. Thank you very much, and I'll pass it on to Councilmember Page.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair and Mr. Rodriguez. So, Mr. Edmonds, my questions are very simple. You remember what you were told you've done, is that right?
yes.
Have you spoken to your victim?
No.
Have you ever said I'm sorry?
I told somebody to tell them I'm sorry, but I never spoke to her.
And if you could speak with her, because I know that she does love you, what would you tell her?
I'm so sorry. That wasn't me. If it didn't happen, it wasn't me.
Well,
I wasn't myself.
right. But you have to understand that from a victim's perspective, the word "if" doesn't really accept responsibility. So to her, this happened. So if you're going to apologize, that it should be, I'm so sorry for what I've done.
I get what you're saying.
I've never meant to hurt you.
Definitely. I get what you're saying.
Period.
Yeah.
That's it. And you need to practice that. I'm sorry for what I've done. I never meant to hurt you. That will go a long way. That will help with the healing process, you know? So I'm glad to hear you say that, you know, and you should practice it. You really should.
I'm really like, I'm not sorry because I'm in jail. That's not the reason why I'm sorry. I'm sorry because I hurt her.
Yeah, that's what she needs to hear. When you do have an opportunity to speak with her, that's what she needs to hear. So practice that. You can't beat yourself up about what has already transpired. There's nothing you can do about that. All you can do is try to do better in the future. That's it. Yep. So, good luck to you, Mr. Edmonds. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah. So, Mr. Edmonds, I also have to let you know that the state's attorney from the District of Waterbury objects to you having an early release and express their objections due to ongoing public safety concerns. Okay? I just have to tell you that. All right? Okay. So we're going to have a discussion among the three of us here. You can sit and listen, but you can't say anything, okay?
Okay.
All right, thank you. So it's obvious that this inmate struggles cognitively due to EDI as a result of his motorcycle accident. And in reviewing his prior file, including when he was part of the ABI waiver program and the assistance that they provide to him it's, a very detailed, high maintenance, level of care that he's getting.
And
One-
needs too, so.
Yeah.
Well, yes.
Yeah.
And so right now, he's out of that program, and in order to get back in and to get the level of care he needs, including the programs that we're gonna stick him to, he needs to be back in the community. And I have a letter from, Ms. Panado, that she is going to get an appointment when he goes back in the community and getting back on SSI and apply back to the ABI waiver program. In addition to that, I read the treatment evaluation that the Connections did for the problem sexual treatment program. And they have identified the fact that he does cognitive deficits affecting his memory, which could impact his ability to benefit from the problem sexual treatment program. However, they will make a determination, the Connections, which will determine whether he does individual treatment or group, but a program with cognitive deficits that they are going to make. So having said all of that, I am in favor of granting Mr. Iman's discretionary parole so that he can reconnect with that ABI waiver program that will assist him in going forward, hoping that this time it will work out for him.
I would concur, Madam Chair, that specialized treatment at this point to help him back on track and to keep him going.
Okay, Mrs. Page?
Thank you, Madam Chair. So, I agree with what you said. I don't think that he will be able to receive the level of care that he needs in the facility. And I think that he's best suited to receive his treatment out in the community. I just want to note for the record that, this in no way, shape or form, means that we believe he's a suitable candidate for early release. We just think that he would benefit from a parole supervision, beginning that treatment and then continuing that treatment once he has.
That's why I did not do so for.
I appreciated it, very questioning, his, at least accepting responsibility and apologizing.
Yes.
I thought that was important.
It
I hope he remembers it.
Yeah.
You know, I hope he remembers it. That.
Well,
I appreciate that.
The one thing that I got out of it is that it says that he needs consistency. So telling him that he has to repeat that to himself, was important.
So I would support, his discretionary parole because he needs the help. So
Yeah, so it would be today.
it would be today.
Yeah, so in the case of levar Edmonds, inmate number 302323, there is a motion to grant discretionary parole on or after January 24, 2024, with the following conditions. No contact with the victim, no contact with minors. The new no contact with minors, the new problem sexual behavior treatment, mental health treatment, and med compliance, and release to a halfway house. Is there anything else?
Madam Chair, you didn't say the initials of the victim?
CELKA.
DENK.
I think I thought it was LKA.
I don't have an LKA. I don't have an LKA.
I have a CP.
Yes.
Right. And also. Oh, LKA's last known address.
Oh.
Right.
Yes. Right. So, let me go back and repeat the no contact with victim initials ZE.
There's a second to that motion.
All those in favor, signify by saying.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. Mr. Emmons, we wish you the best of luck,
Thank you so much.
okay? And keep repeating what Mrs. Page asked you to do.
Okay.
The repetitiveness of your remorse for the victim,
Yes.
okay?
Thank you so much.
Good luck.
This concludes the hearing for Edmonds Levar, inmate number 302323. Thank you, sir.
Have a good day.
Yeah. Who's having it? Correct.
Can I ask you?
They're on silent. Yes.
Good. No, okay.
Officer, did you have a question,
Yes,
sir?
yes.
Did you have a question?
Yes, so what this mean? Like, what's gonna happen?
So it means that you've been granted parole and someone will meet with you to discuss your release plan, okay? You'll
Okay, thanks
receive
a
all
lot.
of this in writing.
Thanks a lot. Sorry about that.
No problem.
Have a good day.
Good.
Wish I had.
Yeah, you do.
Thank you.
No problem.
Well, if not the most bizarre hearing we've ever seen, it's definitely up there. I mean, really, at first I was kind of convinced that he was just making the whole thing up, but then I guess it's just not fair for me to come to that conclusion. And I mean, why couldn't he had and can't remember anything? The what's what I guess is like, it was just interesting, I think, how they were kind of like coddling him. But he states, I don't even know if I did anything wrong. I don't have any memory. If I did anything, I'm sorry for it. And it's like, to make even that as a statement, it's so let's say you do have brain damage that you can't remember anything. Would you still take that stance? I'm just locked up. I didn't do anything wrong. And we don't even know what he did. It's like, it's not really clear, but it seems that he must have done something very, very hurtful to her that would require him to be classified as a sexual offender. But yeah, we don't have any information on the details, but except there was a 10-year sentence, all suspended except for 2. And, it's just, I don't know. I'm just like at a loss. When I first saw this, I thought that he was really pulling all our legs. No pun intended there. And I had to listen to it 2 more times. So they're releasing him to some type of special program. I don't know what can possibly help anyone. It's, I think, a little bit just, being drunk on the Kool-Aid. It's like, well, here's someone who claims to not have really much mental cognitive ability, it seems, left. I mean, he can have conversations, but he can't remember anything. So you're not teaching him anything. It's like, but you have to keep going. Do the programs. Don't worry, programs will solve everything. And maybe prison's not for him. I mean, he's maybe he's pulling. Sorry, I'm doing it again. All our legs. I don't know. What do you think? But let's just assume that he actually does have the the traumatic brain injury and he's not playing with us. What are you supposed to do? Prison's not the place for him, right? It almost makes you wonder. It's like, how does even someone in that position do the damage that he's done, right? It's like, you think that all you'd have to do is run away from him, but I guess I don't really know. It's hard to. Anyways, I'm at a loss for words, but we'll move to the next hearing.